Hello and welcome to another episode of Metamorphosis Mentors. I'm Liz Michael and I'm so honored to have back one of my favorite people in the world, and Vicky Hendrich, or Vicky Lynn, however you wish to do it. She is here to tell us more about Rooted Within Wellness. Oh my gosh, wait until you hear this journey.
We can talk about the ugly days all day long, yet the weight and the beauty falls into being able to climb out, and it ain't easy.
From the ashes.
Literally beauty from the ashes. And I'm sure I mentioned this in our first episode, yet I have a dear, dear friend who's also one of my facilitators. And I don't remember much for months, literally. I know you understand. Yet I do remember a conversation with her, and she said, Vicky, she said, do the work now so you come back to us whole.
Yes.
And boy, did that
So
that hit
wise.
me. So wise, because I remember, to be honest, I was terrified, thinking, I can't imagine still carrying this and feeling like this in 10 years because I didn't figure out how to work through it. So, I took her words real seriously,
Yes.
and I did the work, but
Yes.
it is really hard work. And so for those wondering or listening, or, it doesn't just happen. It's facing really hard things, and being okay sitting there. And it's hard to sit in it. It's so hard to sit in it, and it's terrifying at times. And that's where that whole community, just knowing, again, I even, when the kids were sick, I had a community after I lost Mike. I had people literally, I knew they were circling my house, yet what I needed was to keep them out there. But I knew they were there, and they loved me, and they said, you do what you need to do.
Yes.
So finding the people, and I also lost some people, equally as hard. Yet finding people who will support you no matter what your walk looks like. And that may mean having somebody by your side 24/7, because it's really hard to be alone. So just listen to what you need, and be okay if it looks different than your neighbors. That's all right.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think that's another point to really hone in on. Well, a couple of points there. Number one, everyone's journey, like you said, is totally different. And what one person has experienced and walked through may or may not work for this other person, and how it's just important for whoever's walking through it to find how they need to walk through it. May look
Yes.
totally foreign to everyone else, but that is what they're called to do. And
Right.
you just have to keep doing that, and focusing on where God is leading you. That's very important.
Well, and may look different to other people, but may also look different to you. I
True.
wasn't necessarily a toes in the grass kind of girl. I
Yes,
liked it.
yes,
I
yes.
liked it, but I remember I thought, you know, I had other people telling me their experiences of, oh, you're going to hate the change of seasons, and you're going to, not, and I'm like, no, this is
Great.
where I felt, because that's what my body was yearning for. So again, understanding, of course, people come in with well-meaning suggestions and advice, and take what works for you, but also make sure you're listening to, okay, what do I need today? Because it looks so different, and it's not, none of it's right, wrong, or indifferent, other than do what you need to do to heal.
That's right. And I think God blessed me with helping to identify different things that I needed to do for me in order to move forward. And like, I love to travel. So I had to promise myself
Yes.
once a month that I would travel somewhere. It could be for a hike at Brown County on a Saturday
Right.
afternoon. It could be Chicago for a weekend. It could be South Africa, Hong Kong, wherever. But once a month I would travel somewhere. And because that was my time to just go in. And
Yes.
many times it was around nature and involved nature. And also I also knew that my love language was touch at that time. And I had massages once a week for a very long time, because I knew that I needed that to facilitate not only the healing, but to feed my soul with the touch. And,
Yes.
and to be in relationship with other people. So I had my assistant schedule appointments, 10 appointments a week. that I could. Usually it was around involved food somehow. That way I was also making sure I was eating.
Yeah.
And if I had those appointments, I would get up out of bed and go and
Yeah.
do, and just those things. But everyone has to figure what those things are for them
Yes.
and to act on them. And I know mine doesn't work for everyone, and that's okay. But it's
Hmm.
hard to dig in and see those things and to see where healing can come from and what I need to change in order to make it happen. But I had to focus outside of my grief, outside of my pain,
Hmm.
on something else. And kind of, there were surprises along the way. For when I was traveling, at one point I realized when I travel, I'm just Liz. I'm not a widow.
Yes.
And that was important. And I would think that's important for your caregivers too. When they come to your retreats,
Hmm.
they come and they're not so and so's caregiver.
Hmm.
They are who they are called to be.
Yes, and that is so important to be able to find yourself again. You
Exactly.
know, we lose ourselves in
Hmm.
crisis. We often lose ourselves when we're a mom. You know, the most
Absolutely.
important
Yes.
role
Yes.
of
And
the
that's, I mean, that's still
yeah,
caregiving, right? It doesn't have to be
absolutely.
crisis, but just even the everyday
Hmm.
caregiving can be overwhelming and huge to people. And
Yes,
it's the same type of thing, just a different
twist.
modality. Yeah.
Right. I do. I laugh when you, well, not at
Mhm.
your tactics because they're beautiful. And I think, you know, knowing you, they are perfect for how you needed to walk through. So I'm just so proud of you for
Thank
listening
you.
and again making the hard things because I can bet there were days that you did not want to have appointments on your calendar, right? Yet you did it. And what I laughed when I just found it the other day is on my phone
Mhm.
alarm. I'm the one that just keeps alarms and I just keep adding to them. I have hundreds. But I found at 6 a.m. and then I labeled it, put your feet on the floor. And
Oh,
I had it set every day, Monday through Saturday. I didn't, apparently Sunday I stayed in
yeah.
bed.
Yeah.
But I literally had an alarm that went off that told me, just put your feet
Yes.
on the floor
Just a
today.
reminder. Yes.
You know, so finding
Yes. And
those
it doesn't have to be
opportunities.
big things. It doesn't have to be
No,
trips around the world. It
right.
can
Put your
be
feet on
as
the floor.
simple as feet on
Hmm.
the floor.
Yeah.
It's just very important, but
Hmm.
everyone has to find their healing in different ways.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to try things to see, is this something that would help me? And sometimes it isn't,
Right.
sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
Let's
You
talk.
know,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, I just, I've learned so much over these last 2 years, and it was interesting because with our first retreat that we hosted,
Yes.
I learned that it was really difficult for women to step away.
Yes,
You know, it's hard for moms to step away regardless,
it is.
often. You know, I remember that as a young mom.
Absolutely.
Yet then you throw on, you know, some challenges, and that makes it even more difficult.
It
Yet I
makes it
had
seem, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to interject. It makes it seem harder to step away. You have to do so much more to prep in order to step away that you don't have the
right.
energy to start with. Now you're asked to do this much more in order to step back. It doesn't seem to
Yes.
be a good payoff, right?
Right. And that's where, so, you know, and I smiled because I thought, oh, God knows exactly where he's taking me because I had several women who had wanted to go to that first retreat that were through, they were on the other side of their medical challenge. Theirs was, you know, an acute, small, shorter situation. So they were on the other side of that, yet it was still difficult. And they said, I'm really having trouble stepping away. And of course we honor, you know, our
Of
doors are
course.
open. There is no, you know, it has to be right for you. But it was such a beautiful moment of awareness for me because I thought where I have been these last couple of years healing through the grief, that's the work that I've been doing and taking care of myself,
Hmm.
you know, giving myself that permission to pause.
Yes.
And I thought, you know, and it made me smile because I thought, man, you know, God is working this from every angle
Yes.
because I understand, A, I've walked it as a mom,
Yes.
you know, but I'm still walking it and
Yes.
learning how I need to best listen to me So then I can step into the ring, ready to go because I've nurtured the parts of me that need nurturing. But I really got thrown into that, during that walk with grief. So I think the lessons, and it kind of goes back to what we said earlier, the lessons never stop. And, we're always learning.
Yes.
But that's a big one. And because of that, then Rooted Within developed a podcast because it came to me pretty clear, that we have these retreats, but what are we doing for these caregivers
Yes.
in between retreats?
Yes.
And I thought we need a bridge. We need a
springs for
bridge.
them to hang on to.
Yes, a bridge. And so a lot of my facilitators and guests from the retreats and, people that can share different kind of modalities come onto the podcast to throw that lifeline, for that mom that maybe can't step away to a retreat for a weekend, or, I'm just not ready. Or I need to do some work to give myself permission, so I just love how it continues to evolve of, okay, we've got you for weekends, but now how can we feed into you during that time that we can't be together? And it's ironically called, and you mentioned something like this earlier, Still Becoming, Rooted Within podcast, Still Becoming, because we just have to be open to keep growing and keep learning and keep asking for help.
Do you ever think we fully arrived?
No, not until we go home. No, personally, I don't. I think it is such a rich life that we have, and we are designed to do so much more than, often we give ourselves even the understanding. I think it's inconceivable. And the best way for us to keep walking is to stay open and to listen and to just know, we were crafted to do beautiful things in order to serve others and help others and make the world a better place.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, some questions for you. 5 years from now, what do you hope Rooted Within Wellness looks like?
I love that question because I do have a business plan.
I
I do have a business plan.
know
so
you do.
I can answer that. In 5 years, I look for Rooted Within to be coast to coast, and truly creating.
What does that mean to be coast to coast?
East Coast, West Coast, top, bottom,
But retreats?
nationwide retreats.
That's
yes,
what you're talking about,
retreats.
right?
Yes, forgive
And
me.
you're
Retreats.
doing a lot of them in association with children's hospitals, is that correct?
I started along that path. That's probably where we talked about last year. Yet then I had a real aha moment of there's a need everywhere.
Yes.
And let's be real, there's a real need in the smaller rural communities that
Oh,
don't have access to
that's
support.
awesome. Yes.
So that has branched out, and to be honest, I'm now more going to where I have relationships that I can learn about the community
Yes.
and see if that's a good fit. In fact, that's what I've been doing. I'm out west right now in Wyoming and Montana, and this will be the area where
Mountain girl.
I can see them. But that will be, I have interest out on the East Coast. As well as some pretty strong relationships happening here in Wyoming and Montana. So next year, we're going to stay Midwest here these first 2 years and really create that good, strong footprint. And then we will branch out to the West Coast and the East Coast.
I love it. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And if resources weren't an issue, what would you build?
If resources weren't an issue, I would build facilities that could house us regularly. That would just be rooted within retreat space.
Okay.
Hands
And
down.
would that be mountains, Midwest?
Uh,
Ideally?
Ideally, yeah, probably both. I'm not tied to other than just someplace where we can quiet from the noise.
Sure. Sure. I love that.
In Indiana, we're doing, Brown County. Our next one is up northern Indiana, Michigan border. So it's going to be more of a lake feel. I think it's all beautiful, to be honest.
It is, for sure, for sure. What would you say your biggest obstacles are?
finding the women who are okay to give themselves permission to take care of themselves.
Beautiful. Yes. That makes total sense.
And teaching and perhaps guiding or leading the way of what it
Yes.
looks like to give yourself permission.
Yes. Yes.
Because I think everybody needs this, whether you're in a challenging situation or not. Yet, you know, the world,
Yes.
the world that we live in teaches us otherwise. And
Yes.
so to begin to help women find that balance that we can still do both, but to carve out that time to give yourself permission and then jump back in to
And I know for a fact that you have support people who can help walk them through that
yes,
and along the way. And so that, because many people who might be listening to this might say, yeah, that sounds fine and good, but how do I do that? And so they have to do that in order to get to the retreat to start with. So I
exactly.
would recommend that they contact you
Yes.
and let you know what their needs are in order to work through that in order to get there. So
Well,
that
and
you
that,
can make those connections.
yes, and that's what's so beautiful is and that's where the podcast came in also is, to begin creating what those steps look like to allow women to see, okay, I can do this. It's hard. I still have trouble, and my baby's not even at home anymore, right? It takes an intentional effort for us, especially as women, an intentional effort to know that we can step away and everything's going to be okay. It might not be done how
Yeah,
we'd like it
right.
to be done, but everything is, because of that importance to just take care of what we need also. And that's where all of the facilitators that join me, they are so beautifully skilled and have done the work themselves, of, okay,
And help
this is what
others.
it can look like and
Yes.
help others along the way. Absolutely.
And how can people support your mission?
Oh, well, by sharing. By sharing Rooted Within, and that's where I feel that our greatest reach is to help people understand that they are not alone. And sometimes that's a simple conversation, or sometimes it's a, hey, I'm thinking of you, and I came across this today. Take a look. We, of
Share
course,
this
have,
podcast so they can
yes,
understand where you're coming from and what that might look like. That's a
exactly.
way to
And
share.
and that's where I really see us. We have many tiers people can work within. We've got the main tier of a weekend away for a retreat. We have the podcasts. We're creating smaller mini retreats with different organizations that are just going to be 2 to 3 hours of just a let us hold you
Yes.
and share some tools and whatnot. And those are, I'm beginning to drop those footprints in many different organizations. So, lots of different tiers to meet you where you are. We have a beautiful, beautiful opportunity where you could support someone going to a retreat,
Right.
through giving. So that's on our website as well. But more than anything, I think just that opportunity to have a conversation with someone so they feel seen
Right.
and supported.
Yes.
And again, it needs to be right for them. The timing does,
Absolutely. Yes.
but to know that we're here for them when they're ready.
I'm sorry. I'm just biting at the bit because you're talking about how you have many tiers, and I'm thinking you have TIERS and TEARS that are both involved in this healing.
Yes, and there have been many to both.
Yes.
It is not
Yeah,
dry around
I was
here.
bursting at the seams to get that in. Okay, so now I have a lightning round. Can I pull up some questions, easy, fun questions for you?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sunrise or sunset?
Oh, sunrise.
Okay. Mountains or oceans?
Mountains now.
Favorite place to pray?
Outside.
Yes,
I go to church every day.
wherever it is. Yes, exactly, right? One book everyone should read.
Untethered Soul.
Okay. Why?
Because it truly talks about reaching back in
Okay.
to yourself, to what the true act of surrender looks like.
Awesome.
And often I think people equate surrender with tapping out or waving a white flag, when in fact it's probably one of the hardest acts that we are able to do. But man, when we surrender, we find that true alignment. And when you're in alignment, uh, I struggle saying this because I don't want to say it's been seamless work, because I probably have worked harder than I have ever worked before in my life, but it's been seamless because God continues to go dink, now over here, and now we're
Because
going to go here, and
a
because
seam
I'm
is
in
two
alignment.
ends. Yes, a seam is two ends that
Yes,
are stitched together, and sometimes
yes,
they tear apart and require more stitching. And so
right,
God is the seamstress
yes,
in our lives that hold
yes,
it together. Yes, that's
yes.
awesome. One habit that changed your life.
Mindfulness.
Okay, you want to say more than that on that?
Uh, you know, And interestingly enough, I tapped into a mindfulness practice well over a decade ago
Okay.
because, and I reached out, she's one of my facilitators.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I reached out, she was given to me as a reference to,
Uh-huh.
because I kept saying, I just keep waking up and I feel like my hair's on fire and I'm go, 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 go. And it was all good things, right?
Yes.
It was
Yes.
all, and in service, and I loved what I did. And, but I also had this feeling of emptiness.
Mm.
And I remember going to her and we had an interview to see if we liked one another.
Yes.
And I remember saying, I've had all of these things in life. This was before I lost Mike, but I'd had all these other things. I've had all these things in life and I'm just not sure what I'm supposed to do with them. And I feel like I truly wake up and my to-do list is already like this. And I couldn't figure out how to hone it in. And so that took me into a dive of mindfulness, of learning then how to, take the foot off the gas pedal for a little bit. And now I think back and I look at that and I thought, wow, he was preparing me
Yes.
over a decade ago to go deep,
Yes.
because I don't think I would have been able to if I hadn't started already dialing myself down
Without the trauma.
without the trauma. Yeah. So then it wasn't as foreign to me, because I learned, oh, there is another cadence here.
Yes.
And for me, it came through mindfulness, which is also, you can call it whatever you want. You can
Yes.
call it prayer, you can
Mhm.
call it meditation. It's learning how to stop the reel
Yes.
that's constantly going in our
Yes.
mind,
Yes.
and to soak in
Right.
all the beauty that's out
Yes.
there for us.
Absolutely. One thing you wish every caregiver knew.
Only one.
Okay. How
Uh,
many you got?
um, you are not alone.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
You are
That's
not
one word.
alone. Hmm.
And one word God has been speaking over your life lately.
Trust. Oh, there are so many words, Liz.
Yes.
Light, light, light has been just such a word that continues to
Mm.
come up, to be a light, to hold the light,
Mhm.
to show that there's light,
Shine
uh,
your light.
shine your light.
Yes.
Uh, so light, certainly surrender, but just to continue to trust
Hmm.
and let go of the reins.
Hmm. I love it. So, if someone was listening, or someone who is listening, feels like life has uprooted them, what hope would you leave with them?
Life will continue to evolve and we will move through it. Yeah, it's so hard when you're in it.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but you will continue to evolve through it.
Hmm.
Uh, and to lean into the hard days. None of this is about sugarcoating anything,
No.
or wishing it away, or putting it in that box that's going to stay stuck up there. So to lean in,
Yes.
to feel it, but to be proud of the steps you continue to take, even though it might feel like you're in quicksand.
Hmm.
Because there are some days that I was pretty sure I was drowning in quicksand, but the sun still came up the next day.
Oh, Vicky, my friend. First of all, I thank God for you as a friend, sister
Oh,
in
thank
Christ,
you.
sister in life, and I look forward to see where God leads both of us in our
Yes.
futures. And I'm so grateful for your ministry, for your life, for your journey, for you allowing me to help share this journey with others so that they can find strength and hope and be rooted into wellness. And I just pray that it continues to heal and help other people find hope and healing through the retreats and the different places where you land. Thank you so much for your time, your love, your energy. Love
Uh,
you, my friend.
I love you. Thank you for having me and
You're
for all you do in the world.
oh, absolutely my pleasure. Thank you. Bye
I
bye.
love you. Bye.